and welcome back to the Care Health Podcast. I'm so excited to finally be back. This episode is long overdue. I can't believe we're already in February. It feels like January for the first time, maybe ever, just flew by. It went by in a flash. So, today in this episode, I kind of wanted to talk about the experience that I've been having trying to create a healthy lifestyle for myself and what it really means to be healthy. I was listening to a podcast with Jay Shetty. I really don't remember who he was interviewing. Maybe it was Lewis Hamilton. I don't remember. I have to go back and check. But what he said was, as human beings, and this is not a direct quote, I'm definitely paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact words that he used. But basically, he said that as human beings, we've forgotten how to experience and we only know how to evaluate. And I started thinking about that, like I said, as it relates to my health. And I was like, that is so true because I was focusing my health goals and the lifestyle and everything that I wanted to create for myself around all of these specific guidelines, I guess, that are kind of just the thing that everybody says you're supposed to do to be healthy. So things like making sure to do 30 minutes of workout every day or drink a smoothie for breakfast instead of having a greasy omelet with pancakes, or avoid meat and favor vegetables. Things like that people say you're supposed to do to be healthy, but if I felt like if I followed all of those rules, if I followed all of those guidelines, then obviously my health goals would just, happen. I would achieve them. And when he said that, it really shifted my mind to think of, well, as you're following all of these goals, as you're drinking the gallon of water every day and, eating a salad for lunch instead of, I don't know, rice and peas with chicken, as you're doing all of those things, what is your actual experience like right now? Do you feel healthier? Do you feel better in your body? Like, do you have more energy? Do you have less brain fog and, feel ready to take on the day instead of, down and low energy and consistently tired and all of that? Like, what is your actual experience? And it made me realize that I had been paying so much attention to just following the steps because that's the prescription to be healthy. This is what you do. Instead of checking in with my body to say, well, do you actually, serious? Do you actually feel healthy? Like, are the things that you're doing serving you right now to feel healthy right now? And the other thing is that there's so much, even with the things that you're supposed to do, even within that, there's already so much conflicting information. Like, do this, don't do this. Going way back into the 90s and early 2000s when everybody was talking about slim fast and protein bars and meal replacements instead of having full meals as a way to be healthy and achieve your health goals in terms of, body weight and all of that. And now it's everybody's talking about intermittent fasting. We went through a trend of high intensity interval training. Everybody was joining a boot camp. Everybody was doing HIIT workouts, doing sprints on the treadmill and all of that. And now when you go to the gym, everybody's now doing this new method called, I think it's 12-3-30. So you do an incline on the treadmill of 12, so a really steep incline, speed of 3, so really low speed, and you basically walk at this high incline for 30 minutes. And now that is the thing to do if you want to, exercise and be healthy in your body, because the HIIT workouts are bad. So it's like, even within the things that people are telling you you need to do to be healthy, there is so much conflicting information that it really gets hard and sometimes even stressful to figure out what to do. And in the moment you make a decision, so let's say you've been doing some research, you want to be healthy, and you've decided that you want to be vegan. The moment you make a decision that you're going to be vegan, there will be the haters, the doctors, the gurus, everybody telling you, no, vegan is not the way to be healthy. You have to get some meat protein. If not, your body will, go into some type of state that's not good and it can cause you to be sick. It's not the best thing. Or let's say you don't do vegan and you decide you're going to stick with eating meat. The vegans will come at you and be like, no, you shouldn't be eating meat. Meat isn't good for you. So it's like, no matter what you decide, there's always going to be somebody out there telling you that that was the wrong decision and you actually should be doing something else. Like, I remember I was talking to my doctor and she recommended that I start taking a multivitamin. And I was like, okay, that makes sense, with the quality of our soil nowadays and even the types of food that we eat, it's really hard for us to get all of the vitamins and nutrients that we need. So it makes sense to kind of supplement with a multivitamin. And then the other day I'm talking to this other like person and they're like, no, multivitamins are a waste of money, a waste of time. All of the nutrients just go out in the toilet when you use the toilet anyway. You need to make a better effort to get your nutrients from more natural whole food sources. So it's just like everything was just so confusing and overwhelming. And the thing that I love about what Jay Shetty said, and if I find the podcast where he said it, I'll definitely link it below because it was a really good, overall, it was just a really good, informative podcast, is that when he said we have forgotten how to experience and only evaluate, and I realized that my health is a personal experience unique to me. Like, it's not something that can be evaluated by someone else outside of my own body per se, if that makes sense. So it kind of took the emphasis off of trying to follow rules that are prescribed by people outside of me who don't live in my body, who don't know how I feel, who don't know how I feel when I eat meat versus how I feel when I don't eat meat, or how I feel when I take a multivitamin versus how I feel when I don't take a multivitamin, and focus my attention on my own experience. So, and what that gave me the power to do is get back into the driver's seat of my own health in that way. In that all of these things, all of these fads, all of these pieces of advice and prescriptions, all of that, the fact is none of those are the one way that every single person on this planet can use to achieve their health goals. Like, if everybody on the planet was vegan, we would all be healthy. Or if everybody on the planet took a multivitamin every day, we would all be healthy. The fact is that's not true, right? So I realized I shouldn't take any of those as prescriptions and just as advice, inspiration, things that people have shown that have worked for them and that could possibly work for me. But at the end of the day, if it's not working for me, it's okay for me to say, okay, this is not working for me. Let me try something else. So for example, the whole vegan thing. A couple years ago, there was just so much pressure to give up meat and become vegan. And I'll admit, I tried it. It didn't work for me. And I kind of felt like, oh, maybe you just need to stick to it because you want to be healthy. This is what you have to do to be healthy. And I didn't even try it for that long. I think I attempted to do like I did a 21-day Daniel fast. And the fast was basically vegan. No meat, no dairy, no processed foods, nothing really that comes in our packets, all whole natural foods, which I'm sure I I did feel good and I did see some results. But the reason I say it didn't work for me and my lifestyle is because meals just became such a stressful event for me. It was always so difficult for me to figure out what to eat. And I just feel like I have so much stress in so many other areas of my life, that food, which is something that I really thoroughly enjoy, and I typically look forward to meals. If you know me, I'm always asking, okay, when are we going to eat? What are we going to eat? And looking forward, making a big point of making sure that my meals are covered. And when I do sit down to enjoy a meal, it's something that I really savor, and I enjoy cooking and trying different things. So the emotional part of having such a restrictive diet and not being able to explore all the different foods and culinary styles that I wanted to, that kind of took a toll on me. And so I decided that while I wasn't going to be strictly vegan, I would just try to incorporate more vegetables in my diet. And when I do add meat, I'd try to add more high quality meat. So, like organic, grass fed beef, or, pasture raised chicken and stuff like that. But so many people were telling me, oh, you made the wrong decision, you need to really stick to it. And at the end of the day, these people outside of you, even your doctors, your friends, your health coach, your gym trainer, they might have the best intentions for you, but they do not live in your body. You are the only person who knows what the actual experience is to live through, being vegan or not being vegan. And then only from that perspective can you make a decision for yourself on what you're going to decide to do. And I've seen, even myself, with myself, and even my friends, I've seen so many times where we force ourselves to stick to something that isn't serving us, that isn't working for us, just because it's the right thing to do. So, like multivitamins, for example, I would be popping multivitamins all the time. I felt no difference. I didn't feel more energized. I didn't feel more alert. I didn't feel any better than when I was not taking the multivitamins. But I just had it ingrained in my mind because the doctor said that you have to take a multivitamin because you're not getting the right nutrients from your diet. So I had to do it. Come to find out, I recently went back to the Ayurvedic doctor for a checkup, and apparently I have a high level of heavy metals in my system, which is blocking my cell receptors and not allowing them to fully absorb the nutrients and stuff from my blood. And so even though I'm trying to eat healthy foods, I'm taking a bunch of multivitamins, it's not really going anywhere. And like the health coach I was talking to said, it's just coming out on the other end when I use the bathroom, because my cells are not able to absorb it. Or maybe it's something else. Maybe that person is right. And even if I don't have a high level of heavy metals, I'll still experience that multivitamins don't make a difference. I'm working on, reducing the toxicity level in my body right now. And maybe I'll try taking multivitamins again in the future once that's, in a better spot, and see how it goes. It's not like I'm opposed to it. It's not like I'm on one camp or the other. At the end of the day, it's all about what my body needs and how I can feel healthy right now. And then the other thing is, there were certain times, certain periods when something served me, and then after a while, it stopped. An example of that would be the high intensity workouts. There was a period, maybe 10 years ago, where I could do a high intensity interval training workout for an hour and leave feeling good, feeling energized, having, the strength that I wanted, and also, losing the little pudgy parts that, I didn't feel most happy about and stuff like that. Now, if I try to do a high intensity workout after 10 minutes, I feel like I'm going to pass out. And even though, because I was also thinking, oh, maybe Cerise is just a conditioning thing. Like maybe you just need to keep pushing through, keep doing it, keep doing it. After a while, you'll start to feel better. And I do feel stronger when I continue. I do feel like I do see the weight loss, but I'm so exhausted, like worn out. I just want to sleep. Like I would wake up in the morning. If I do a high intensity interval training workout, that's it for the rest of the day. I'm just like slowly trudging through the rest of the day. Whereas if I do something more grounding or like weight training or the what's the new trend now, the 12-3-30, where I walk on the just do a walk on the treadmill at a high incline for 20 to 30 minutes and then do some stretches afterwards. That's what has me feeling energized and ready to take on the day. So I'm really grateful that I found this podcast, because once again, in setting my goals for 2023 and trying to figure out like how I'm going to, achieve the energy that I want, the body that I want, the nice thick hair and glowing vibrant skin that I want. I found myself kind of falling back into the habits of thinking, oh well, Dr. Rudra, my Ayurvedic doctor, said I shouldn't do this type of workout. I should do this other type of workout instead. So I'm going to do this. But maybe I don't like that type of workout. It's not something that I enjoy. Maybe instead of yoga, I actually prefer weight training. Even if, the advice comes from the most well meaning, doctor or whatever, and I tend to trust it more if it does come from somebody like that. At the end of the day, the final authority rests on me to figure out, to take this advice, try it on, see if it fits, and if it doesn't fit, to find something else that does. It doesn't make sense to keep doing the same thing, pushing ourselves to do the same thing over and over again when it's not giving us what we want. Like for me, a big part of what I'm trying to achieve is feeling more energized and not being so tired and low energy all the time. And so the high intensity workouts were not doing it for me at all. I was feeling exhausted every single time. And so what does help me a lot is the slower, more grounding, more repetitive workouts where I'm not constantly trying to keep up, trying to figure out what the instructor is doing next. Those are the things that I've noticed serve me. And another area where I found that we have been outsourcing our decisions about how we feel and what we need to do in order to be healthy is when we go to the doctor with a problem and they tell us that we're fine, or they tell us that we're not fine and give us a prescription, and the thing doesn't work. We don't feel better, but we keep doing the same thing over and over again. Let me ground this in an example. I realize now the insanity of me going back to the doctor every couple of months for an antibiotic for my bacterial vaginosis or the antifungal for my yeast infection every month, or not every month, but every couple of months. And I'm like, no, I can see obviously whatever they were giving me was not working. It wasn't giving me a long-term solution to the problem that I was facing. But I kept going back and doing what they told me to do, which was just to take the pills, because they're a doctor. They're supposed to know better than me what I need to do to heal my body, right? And now I realize that if I had just taken that ownership back and realized, okay, Cerise, yes, you're taking the pills, yes, you're following the doctor's advice, but is it working? How do you feel? Do you feel better? How long do you feel better for? Or is it something that you have to be constantly be You have to constantly be relying on them and going back, and then they give you the same information, the same prescription, and then you feel better for 2 days, and then it comes back, and then when it gets really bad, you go back. Like, what is your experience? And if I had thought that way then I probably would have searched for ulterior or alternative solutions even way back then, before I found Dr. Claudia Welch and her book Balance Your Hormones, Balance Your Life. So I feel like, again, I'm really grateful that I'm really grateful for that nugget that Jay Shetty dropped, that, it's not about evaluating. It's not about looking at blood tests or looking, figuring out a plan and following that plan to the T. And just because I follow that plan to the T, that means I am healthy. So my plan is, I'm going to wake up, have a smoothie, do my workout, go to work, have a salad for lunch, have a mostly vegetable dinner with a little bit of meat, or a vegan dinner, whatever it is. And if I follow that plan every day, I will be healthy, because that's what the doctors and the health gurus, that's what everybody says. Or it's not about, just doing the blood tests and the blood tests come back normal, the urine analysis come back normal. And so based on the evaluation, everything is fine. Even though my experience is, I'm in pain, I have headaches, I have rashes on my skin, whatever it is. It's not about the evaluation of health, it's about the experience of health. And so now going forward, what I'm really trying to do, and it's not a perfect science, like, not just because I now have this awakening that instead of following a specific recipe and hoping that it gets me healthy, I'm going to try the recipe and then actually check in with myself to see, Cerise, are you experiencing health and the type of health that you want to experience? Now that I have this information, I'm really trying to do better at checking in with myself periodically. Like, okay, how are you feeling? We're trying this new thing. So right now I'm on a bunch of herbs and other supplements to help with the heavy metal toxicity that apparently I have. And I'm going to hold those herbs and the recommendations of that doctor to a high standard, because at the end of the day, the goal of me taking this is for me to feel better. So I'm checking in, I'm taking the stuff, I'm following the prescriptions. Do I feel better? And if I don't feel better, I'm going to go back and tell them, I don't feel better. Maybe we need to try something different. I'm not just going to continue following this prescription just because it came from a doctor and the doctor is supposed to know what they're doing, if my experience is not that I'm getting better, if that makes sense. So I went on this long rant basically to say that my health goals have now changed for the year a little bit, in that instead of having a plan per se of, I am going to do work out 5 days a week or cut this food out of my life or whatever it is, it's more based on how I want to feel and the type of life that I want to experience. So I want to have more energy. Like I said, I want to wake up in the morning and feel ready for the day instead of just feeling like dread of getting out of bed. I want to not have bloating and indigestion and be up at night with heartburn. I want to, you know, be able to, I want to remember things and not have brain fog. So those are the goals that I have. And what I've committed to doing is seeking different advice, doing research, and trying different things to eventually figure out what will work for me to help me achieve those goals of the energy, of the no brain fog, of, all those things. And that, in month one of this, trying to achieve this, that might look a certain way. And then in month 6, when, Maybe it's stressful at work and, I need to do something different. It might look something different. But the goal is still to experience the health instead of forcing myself in month 6 when I'm super stressed at work to still commit to a 1 hour long workout, even though I know that, it's going to make me even more stressed out, it's going to drain my energy, all of that. Maybe I allow myself to do a 30-minute workout in the morning and a 30-minute workout in the evening, or something, something that still gets me to the goal of feeling energized, no brain fog, no indigestion, no heartburn, but isn't so restrictive to where it's more about the plan than about me feeling healthy in my body, if that makes sense. So I really hope that this episode was helpful to you. I hope that you feel empowered to get back in the driver's seat and take your health into your own hands. Check in with how you are feeling instead of just, doing the right things and then hoping that it gives you the results that you want. It's not about doing the right things, because the right thing for me could be a completely different scenario for you. All of this to say, focus on your experience. Focus on, when you're thinking of your health goals and the type of life that you want to live, focus on how you want to feel, and then through trial and error, you will figure out the things that you need to do to get you there, to get you to that feeling or that weight goal or the 6-pack or whatever it is. And don't just blindly commit to a specific regimen and 6 months later you still have no 6-pack, but you have to commit, because this is the way and this is the way your trainer said you have to do it. Let's not do that in 2023, because all of our bodies are different, and we need to honor that. Or when you go to the doctor and they keep prescribing you the same pills, and then 2 months later you're going back with the exact same problem, maybe try another doctor, try another opinion. Like I said, Google stuff, stay informed, see what other people are experiencing out there and what helped them, and then give it a try and hold it to a high standard. Don't just, because this person said they drank, I don't know, lemongrass, and the lemongrass, or they drank celery juice every day and the celery juice cured all of their problems, so now you're just blindly drinking celery juice, but you don't feel any better. So maybe celery juice helped them. Maybe you need lemongrass. So don't just blindly follow the trends, blindly follow what worked for someone else. Try it, see if it works for you, but if it doesn't, drop it and find something that does, and make your health goals more about you experiencing health rather than externally evaluating your actions and saying, okay, I am doing all of the right things, so I am healthy. No. Check in with your body. How do you feel? Are you thriving on the inside? Do you, have joy? Do you have energy? Are you remembering things? How does your skin look? How does your skin feel? Check in with all of those things and evaluate it from that perspective. It was so good being back. I'm really excited to, like I said, continue to just talk about these things as they come up in my life. If I find something that I think might be helpful to other people, I'll definitely come on here and talk about it. And just, encouraging us in general, because I'm talking from my own experience, and half of the time when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself. So encouraging us all to take more control of our health and view our bodies from a different perspective that maybe we have been trained to view it from before. So thank you for joining me. I can't wait to catch you guys on the next episode. Bye.